The internet is absolutely and undeniably accurate. Isn't that right? Wrong. Even though there is a ton of information out there, like when it comes to surviving in any given worst-case scenario, it is largely outdated or just plain old incorrect. Well, we can't risk you getting any misinformation, Brainiacs, just in case you do run into a bear, or need to drink water in harsh snowy conditions. After all, this is your survival we're talking about. In this video, we debunk some of the most prominent survival myths and set the record straight so you can tell all your friends about how outdoorsy you really are. But before we get into that, make sure you smash that notification bell so we can keep you alive and thriving, Brainiacs. Now, on to the good stuff. We've all heard the run-of-the-mill advice to play dead if we ever find ourselves face-to-face with a bear, but how legit is that information? Well, it turns out this advice only works with brown grizzly bears. If you were ever to encounter another type of bear, like the common American black bear, you might as well plate and garnish yourself for their enjoyment. Instead, if you know in advance that you will be in bear territory, be sure to pack yourself some bear pepper spray. When you encounter a bear, make yourself small and retreat slowly. If the bear approaches, direct the pepper spray into its face. If you're fighting the black bear specifically, animal behaviorists have suggested that you attempt to fight back. Black bears are much more motivated to go for easy or docile prey, so use anything as a weapon and aim for their face, more specifically, their eyes. This should deter them from approaching you any further and motivate them to look for prey that flails less frequently. Another common survival myth involves some pretty harsh winter conditions. Let's say that you're stranded at the top of a mountain awaiting help and find yourself desperate for some water. You may have heard somewhere that you can ingest snow to hydrate your body, but if you really think about it, this runs the risk of swallowing pollutants, sediments, and not to mention there's always the danger of yellow snow. But there is another reason why you shouldn't eat snow. When you're in below freezing temperatures, your body needs all the energy it can to preserve the existing heat that it's working overtime to keep in your system. Because the snow has to melt inside your body, the heat that your body needs to conserve for basic functioning will be directed towards digesting the snow. A better solution would be to find a way to melt the snow first. One easy way you can do this is store some snow in a plastic or Ziploc bag. Make sure to eliminate as much air as possible and then keep it close to your body, ideally under a layer of clothes. Once the snow is melted, clear any visible impurities and drink up. What about that survival tip that urges those who have been bitten by a snake to suck out or push out the venom? Well, this is not that inviting whitehead that you love to pop. Treating your wound this way will increase the odds of it getting infected and possibly spread the venom much faster down your bloodstream. Instead, cover the bitten area to avoid further infection and remove any restrictive clothing or jewelry to assure that your body's blood flow is maintained. While keeping yourself warm, call 911 and relay all the possible details about the snake from its color, to its size, to the pattern on its back. This will be very helpful when you seek medical attention so they can prescribe you the right medication or antivenom to combat the harmful substances in your bloodstream. Whatever you do, don't try to DIY this medical treatment. Let's leave that to the professionals. Speaking of unfriendly creatures, what about that myth about treating a jellyfish sting by peeing on it? Maybe you remember that Friends episode where Chandler has to, do his business on Monica's leg? They were convinced that the ammonium, or something like that, can treat the prickling sensation commonly felt by a jellyfish sting. Researchers have actually advised against this, stating that this could actually make things worse. Instead, rinse off the affected area with seawater and dose it in a good amount of vinegar. Pluck the tentacles using tweezers and apply heating pads to the affected area to reduce the pain of the sting. But maybe you aren't set on an island destination and prefer to wander in the 100-acre woods. Now hold on there, Bear Grylls. Don't forget to take your compass because the old-timey myth about the moss growing on the north side of the tree is bogus. This myth comes from the belief that since the sun moves from east to west, the north side of the tree grows moss because it's less exposed to sunlight. The truth is, trees can be shaded from any direction for any reason. Moss just needs a cool and damp environment, so factors like climate, geographic location, and seasons play a big role in its growth. Let's say that you're really stranded in the middle of the forest, though. Your first instinct may be to make a fire. Well, according to survivalists, you might actually want to focus your attention on finding or making shelter first before anything else. Not only will this protect you from the potential elements like rain or wind, but it'll provide you with a safe place to rest and restore your energy. Once you have a roof over your head, then go ahead and make your fire. But if you're thinking about finding shelter in a cave and building a fire there, you might want to rethink your choices too. Heat causes rocks to expand, which can lead to breakage and potentially cause a cave-in. And those matches that got soaked in the rain that you were trying to dry out? Yeah, don't waste your time with those. Once matches are wet, the chemical balance between the sulfur and oxidizer are altered. Instead, invest in some waterproof matches or a waterproof carrying case. But maybe you didn't pack any of that. But you still have your trusty flask in your bag full of whiskey. That ought to warm you up, right? After all, you can count on all the Western/trekker/explorer movie heroes that take a swig from their flask and they appear to be keeping warm. But again, you'd be wrong. Drinking alcohol dilates your skin's surface blood vessels, which will bring down your body temperature even further. Because you need to conserve all your body heat, swigging from your flask isn't a bright idea. Opt for hot water, tea, or cocoa if you can instead. Okay, Brainiacs, so not only are you now fully equipped, but you have a surplus of knowledge on how to tell what's fact from what's fiction. We think it'll be a good idea for you to get out there and get back in touch with nature, and in the meantime, we'll work on a video on how to survive in a world of the occasional Instagram shutdown. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out our other How to Survive videos. See you later, Brainiacs.